$90.75, that was Enron's stock price at its peak in August 2000, the seventh largest company in America, a $66 billion empire built on what exactly? Picture this: Houston, December 2001, office workers carrying boxes, security guards, empty trading floors that once hummed with billions in daily transactions. The house of cards was collapsing. But how do you lose $74 billion in a single year? This is the story of Enron, where American capitalism's greatest success became its most spectacular failure, where brilliant minds built a financial house of cards so complex, so beautiful, so utterly hollow, that when it finally fell, it took down everything in its path. A cautionary tale of when innovation becomes deception, when growth becomes greed, when the American dream becomes a nightmare.
Texas, 1985. Oil is crashing. Houston is bleeding. And in the wreckage of America's energy capital, a preacher's son named Kenneth Lay sees opportunity. Kenneth Lee Lay, PhD in economics, former government insider, energy visionary. While other companies are filing bankruptcy, Ken Lay is building something revolutionary. He merges two struggling pipeline companies, Houston Natural Gas and Internorth, creating a new entity. A house of cards, but the first card is solid. Actual pipelines, real infrastructure, real business. The company gets a new name in 1986, Enron. But Lay's vision goes beyond moving gas through pipes. Why just transport energy when you could trade it? Why be a utility company when you could be a financial services company that happens to deal in energy? The timing is perfect. Ronald Reagan's deregulation is reshaping American business. The Soviet Union is collapsing. Technology is exploding. In 1990, Lay hires a McKinsey consultant named Jeffrey Skilling. Jeffrey Skilling, Harvard MBA, sharp mind, sharper tongue. He looks at Enron's traditional pipeline business and sees inefficiency, predictability, boredom. Why own assets when you can trade them? Skilling brings a revolutionary accounting method, mark-to-market. Instead of recording profits when you actually earn them, you record the estimated value of a contract the moment you sign it. Sign a 20-year energy contract today? Book 20 years of projected profits today. It's like claiming your lottery ticket is worth millions before the drawing. But who questions innovation? Who questions growth? Who questions genius? The house of cards is getting taller, and from the outside, it looks magnificent.
1995, Enron starts trading electricity. 1999, launches Enron Online, the world's largest e-commerce platform. 2000, announces plans to trade bandwidth like a commodity. They're not just ahead of the curve, they're building the curve. Stock price, $7 in 1990, $40 in 1998, $60 in 1999, $90 in 2000. Fortune magazine names Enron America's most innovative company 6 consecutive years. Businessweek calls it a radical new model for growth. Ken Lay graces magazine covers. Jeffrey Skilling becomes a business guru. Their Houston headquarters, a 50-story monument to success, dominates the skyline like a house of cards reaching for the clouds. But here's what made Enron intoxicating. They weren't selling energy, they were selling possibility. Weather derivatives, trade temperature changes. Bandwidth futures, trade internet capacity. Pollution credits, trade the right to pollute. If it could be measured, Enron could trade it. If it could be traded, Enron could make money from it. Wall Street is mesmerized. Every quarter, Enron beats earnings expectations. Every year, revenues soar. $9 billion in 1995, $31 billion in 1998, $101 billion in 2000. Investors aren't buying stock, they're buying dreams. Employees aren't earning salaries, they're printing money. The company cafeteria serves sushi. The parking lot is full of BMWs and Porsches. Everyone's 401k is stuffed with Enron stock. We're not a gas company, Skilling declares. We're a logistics company, a technology company, a new economy company. But rockets don't rise forever. And houses of cards, they can only grow so tall. March 2001. Fortune magazine publishes an article by reporter Bethany McLean with a simple question: is Enron overpriced? McLean points out something strange. For all its reported profits, Enron's financial statements are opaque, complex, nearly impossible to understand. How exactly does Enron make its money? It's a fair question, but Skilling's response is telling. Well, thank you very much. We're very glad you asked that question, he says, voice dripping with sarcasm. Then he provides an answer that explains nothing. Behind the scenes, cracks are appearing in the house of cards. Enron's broadband division, the future of the internet, is hemorrhaging money. California's energy deregulation, which Enron helped design, is creating rolling blackouts, angry customers, congressional hearings. And those special purpose entities, the off-books partnerships that hide debt, they're multiplying like cancer cells. LJM1, LJM2, Chuko, Jedi, names that sound like Star Wars characters, hiding losses that could destroy the empire. Andrew Fastow, Enron's chief financial officer, is running these partnerships, creating deals where Enron sells assets to itself, moving debt around like shells in a street-side scam. But the house of cards keeps growing taller. In May 2001, Skilling is promoted to CEO. Ken Lay slides into the chairman role. At the peak of their power, everything looks perfect. Stock price, still above $50. Revenue projections, still climbing. Media coverage, still glowing. But inside the building, people are asking quiet questions. Sharon Watkins, a finance executive, starts digging into those special purpose entities. What she finds makes her sick. The foundation isn't just cracking, it's already crumbling.
August 14, 2001. Jeffrey Skilling, CEO for just 6 months, abruptly resigns. Official reason, personal reasons. Real reason, he can see what's coming. Wall Street panics. If the architect of Enron's success is fleeing, what does he know that they don't? Ken Lay steps back in as CEO, trying to project confidence. There are no accounting issues, no trading issues, no reserve issues, he tells employees. But the house of cards is swaying in the wind. August 22, Sharon Watkins sends Lay a memo. I'm incredibly nervous that we will implode in a wave of accounting scandals. September, analysts finally start asking hard questions about those special purpose entities. October 16, Enron reports its first quarterly loss in 4 years, $618 million. Hidden in the fine print, $1.2 billion in write-downs from partnerships that don't quite make sense. The questions get louder. The stock price starts falling. The house of cards starts shaking. October 22, the SEC opens a formal investigation. October 24, Lay convenes an employee meeting. Our financial situation has never been stronger, he declares, even as the stock hovers around $20. November 8th, Enron admits to overstating profits by $586 million over 4 years. The house of cards isn't just tall anymore, it's leaning dangerously. November 28th, credit agencies downgrade Enron to junk status. The dominoes start falling faster. Trading partners flee. Banks demand immediate repayment of loans. The stock price crashes below $5. December 2, Enron files for bankruptcy. From 90 to worthless in 16 months. The house of cards doesn't fall gradually. It collapses all at once. The bankruptcy filing is just the beginning. Like archaeologists excavating a crime scene, investigators start digging through Enron's remains. What they find isn't just corporate failure, it's systematic fraud. Those special purpose entities, they weren't legitimate business ventures, they were financial illusions, smoke and mirrors designed to hide debt and inflate profits. mark-to-market accounting. Enron wasn't just recording future profits, they were making up the numbers entirely. Energy trading? Sometimes they were trading with themselves, creating artificial volume to justify bonuses. The emails tell the story. "We're not a trading company," one executive writes privately. "We're a giant hedge fund." Another, "The math doesn't work unless we keep finding new ways to book profits." Andrew Fastow, the CFO, made millions from partnerships that were supposed to be independent, partners that were secretly controlled by Fastow himself. It's like discovering a magician's tricks, except the audience lost their life savings. Arthur Andersen, Enron's accounting firm, wasn't just complicit, they were shredding documents, literally feeding evidence into paper shredders as investigators circled. The house of cards wasn't built on innovation. It was built on lies. But the most shocking revelation? They almost got away with it. Right until the end, Ken Lay and Jeffrey Skilling believed their own story. They drank their own poison. In recorded phone calls from 2001, Lay said, "The fundamentals are strong. The market just doesn't understand what we've built." Skilling said, "We're being attacked by short sellers and conspiracy theorists." They weren't criminals in their own minds. They were visionaries, undone by a world too small to understand their genius.
December 2nd, 2001. The morning starts like any other in Houston. Traffic on I-45, coffee shops open, NPR playing in thousands of cars. But inside Enron's 50-story headquarters, something unprecedented is happening. America's seventh largest company is disappearing. Employees arrive to find their badge access terminated. Security guards escort them to their desks to collect personal items. No boxes, plastic bags. 20,000 people. Some have worked here for decades. Some started last week. All of them watched their careers, their retirement funds, their futures vanish in real time. The trading floor, once the beating heart of a $100 billion empire, falls silent. Computer screens go dark. Phones stop ringing. The house of cards collapses into stillness. In the executive suites, Ken Lay cleans out his office. The man who built an empire from two struggling pipeline companies now stares at empty walls. The irony is crushing. Enron's success was built on one simple premise: eliminate the middleman, create direct connections between buyers and sellers, cut out inefficiency. But they became the ultimate middleman, a company that produced nothing, owned nothing, but claimed to be worth everything. Outside the building, reporters gather, camera crews, protesters. Some hold signs, "Justice for Enron employees." Others simply watch. History in the making, the biggest corporate bankruptcy in American history. By evening, the building is empty. The dream didn't explode in fire and fury. It just ended.
The collapse of Enron doesn't end with Enron. Arthur Andersen, one of the world's big five accounting firms, dissolves. 85,000 people worldwide lose their jobs because of their association with Enron's fraud. Wall Street trust evaporates. Investors stop believing earnings reports. Stock markets crash. The dot-com bubble, already fragile, bursts completely. Trillions in market value disappear. Congress passes the Sarbanes-Oxley Act, the most significant change to corporate governance since the 1930s. Every public company in America must now prove their numbers are real. The trials begin in 2006. Ken Lay, guilty on 6 counts of fraud and conspiracy. Jeffrey Skilling, guilty on 19 counts, sentenced to 24 years in prison. Andrew Fastow, guilty, sentenced to 6 years. But justice feels hollow for the victims. Enron employees lost $1.2 billion in retirement funds. Shareholders lost $74 billion. California ratepayers paid billions in inflated energy costs. The house of cards fell on real people, real families, real futures. And the architects? Ken Lay dies of a heart attack before sentencing at his Colorado vacation home. Skilling serves 12 years, released in 2019. They built their house of cards in Houston's skyline, but the wreckage scattered across the entire American economy. Some disasters create new regulations, new safeguards. Others reveal that the safeguards were always an illusion. The trust, once broken, takes generations to rebuild. That innovation without integrity isn't innovation at all.
23 years later, the Enron building still stands in Houston. It's been sold, renamed, repurposed, but locals still call it the Enron building. Some scars don't heal. Some lessons don't fade. How exactly does Enron make its money? Bethany McLean's question, the one that started it all, wasn't really about Enron. It was about us, about our willingness to believe in magic, our hunger for impossible returns, our faith in brilliant people doing brilliant things without asking brilliant questions. Jeffrey Skilling once said, "We're not a gas company, we're a new economy company." He was right. The new economy was built on stories, narratives, vision. The problem with houses of cards isn't that they're fragile, it's that they're beautiful. So beautiful we forget they're just cards. Today, every earnings call includes disclaimers. Every IPO comes with warnings. Every investment requires verification. We learned to ask hard questions, but we didn't learn the most important lesson. When someone promises to defy gravity, watch them closely. Because what goes up always comes down. And when it does, it's never just the dreamers who fall.